Your person is currently moving through an intense wave of emotional energy, one that feels overwhelming and impossible for them to ignore. There is a deep sense of longing growing within them, a pull that keeps drawing their attention back to you no matter how hard they try to distract themselves. On a higher, soul-level plane, their higher self is constantly reaching out, attempting to connect with yours. This energetic communication does not require words, yet it is powerful and persistent. You may be feeling this connection manifest physically or emotionally, especially as a heaviness, ache, or sharp sensation around your heart chakra. These sensations are not random, they are the result of your person unconsciously pulling on your energy, trying to feel close to you in any way they can because the bond feels too significant to release. To your person, you are truly unforgettable. There is something about you that has imprinted itself deeply into their soul, something that time, distance, or silence has not been able to erase. They have never experienced a connection like this before, not in this lifetime or any other they can consciously remember. What they feel for you goes beyond surface-level attraction or emotional comfort. It feels like recognition, like finding something they have been searching for without fully understanding what it was. Because of this, they often find themselves searching for you in everyone they meet. They compare new connections, conversations, and even fleeting encounters to the energy they shared with you, only to feel disappointed when no one comes close. No matter how many people cross their path, no one carries the same frequency, depth, or resonance that you do. Your energy stands apart because it is pure, magnetic, and deeply aligned with the source. You naturally embody authenticity and truth, and this is something your person was drawn to long before they consciously realized it. You reflect back to them parts of themselves they were not ready to face, both the light and the shadows. This is why the connection felt so intense and, at times, frightening for them. Being near you awakened something within them, something that demanded growth, healing, and self-awareness. At the time, they did not feel strong or confident enough to rise to that level, so instead of choosing you, they chose avoidance. Recently, your person has been feeling increasingly lonely and out of alignment. Even when surrounded by others, there is a sense of being left out, misunderstood, or emotionally disconnected. This feeling has grown stronger since you shifted your energy back toward yourself. You are no longer chasing them, either energetically nor in the physical world. You have reclaimed your power, your focus, and your sense of self, and this shift has not gone unnoticed. On a soul level, your person feels the absence of your energy more strongly now than when you were actively present. The space you created has forced them to sit with their own thoughts, emotions, and regrets. The truth is, you are everything your person has ever wanted. You represent the kind of love, connection, and partnership they once believed they were unworthy of. In the past, they could not choose you because they were battling deep-rooted self-doubt and a lack of confidence. They questioned their ability to show up fully, to be consistent, and to meet the emotional depth that the connection required. Rather than risk failure or vulnerability, they pulled away, convincing themselves it was easier to leave than to try and possibly fall short. Now, however, the thought of having ghosted you or walked away without explanation is haunting them. It replays in their mind during quiet moments, late nights, and times of emotional honesty with themselves. They realize that their silence may have caused you pain, confusion, or self-questioning, and this awareness weighs heavily on their heart. There is regret, not just for losing the connection, but for not being brave enough to honor it when it mattered most. As they reflect, they begin to understand that what they shared with you was rare and sacred. The connection was never meant to be casual or temporary, it was meant to catalyze growth for both of you. Your withdrawal has acted as a mirror, forcing them to confront their fears, insecurities, and patterns of avoidance. While this process is uncomfortable, it is also transformative. They are slowly realizing that running from the connection did not bring them peace, it only amplified the emptiness. Now, there is a growing desire within them to do the right thing. They want to approach the connection with more honesty, maturity, and emotional responsibility. Whether or not they know how or when this will happen, the intention is forming within their heart. Their higher self continues to nudge them toward accountability, healing, and alignment. No matter what unfolds next, the bond you share has already changed them. You have left a permanent mark on their soul, one that continues to guide them back toward truth, courage, and the possibility of a deeper, more authentic connection. Things became stagnant in our connection because I was not contributing with the same honesty, courage, and consistency that you were. You showed up fearlessly, putting your heart, time, and energy into nurturing what we shared, believing in its potential even when it felt uncertain. Meanwhile, I allowed my fears, doubts, and deep-rooted insecurities to stand in the way. Instead of matching your effort, I retreated inward, choosing silence over vulnerability and comfort over growth. I now understand how unfair that was to you and to the bond we were trying to build together. I witnessed how much you went through, emotionally, mentally, and even spiritually, but you never complained. You carried your pain quietly because you believed that nothing meaningful comes easily and that real connections require endurance and faith. Your strength was constant, even in moments when you were hurting the most. I, on the other hand, failed to recognize the weight of what you were carrying. I was rude in my unawareness, careless in my actions, and blind to the sacrifices you were making. Instead of honoring your efforts, I took them lightly, as if they were guaranteed and would always be there no matter how I behaved. I was a fool for not opening up about my feelings when it mattered. You took on every role, you became the communicator, the initiator, the planner, the emotional anchor. You took action for me, spoke up when I stayed quiet, and took charge of the connection when I hesitated. I allowed you to lead while I remained passive, enjoying the comfort of being loved without fully earning it. I was taking, receiving, and benefiting from your presence while offering very little in return. That imbalance is something I now see clearly, and it fills me with regret. I feel deeply embarrassed when I reflect on my weakness. You showed strength in ways that challenged every traditional idea of courage. As a woman, you never backed off, even when I had nothing to give, when my life felt empty, and when my confidence was broken. You stood firm when I was unsure, hopeful when I was afraid, and resilient when I was exhausted. Instead of meeting you with gratitude and respect, I acted selfishly. At a time when you were emotionally broken and needed support, reassurance, and presence, I failed you. I chose my own comfort over your pain, my own ego over your needs. I am sorry for letting you down, for betraying your trust, and for taking your love for granted. I now realize that love is not just something to be received, it is something to be protected, nurtured, and reciprocated. My ego convinced me that I could hold back without consequences, and my fear told me it was safer to stay guarded than to risk vulnerability. In doing so, I destroyed my own inner peace and happiness. I didn't just lose you, I lost the version of myself that could have grown through loving you properly. Our friendship was one of the most precious gifts the divine ever offered me. It was rare, genuine, and filled with meaning, yet I failed to recognize its importance while I still had it. I treated something sacred as if it were ordinary, something irreplaceable as if it were temporary. Only after losing it did I truly understand its value. The absence you left behind has taught me lessons I refused to learn when you were still beside me. I miss you, not just your presence, but your strength, your care, your belief in me when I struggled to believe in myself. I miss the way you showed up, the way you fought for us, and the way you loved without hesitation. This reflection does not undo the pain I caused, but it comes from a place of honesty and remorse. I carry the weight of my mistakes every day, and I hold on to the hope that acknowledging them is the first step toward becoming better than I was. I miss you, love, and I will always regret not valuing you the way you deserved. Your partner has been navigating through a turbulent sea of emotional chaos and inner turmoil, a storm that has been intensified by the necessary distance you've placed between yourself and them. This separation wasn't created without reason, it came as a direct response to their back-and-forth behavior and the toxic patterns that have emerged in your relationship. The push and pull, the inconsistency, and the harmful dynamics became too much to bear, forcing you to step back and protect your own emotional well-being. However, despite this physical and emotional distance, your partner is radiating an incredible amount of intense and sensual energy in your direction. These feelings are powerful and undeniable, yet they find themselves trapped in a peculiar contradiction. While their heart reaches out to you with such intensity, they are simultaneously gripped by an overwhelming fear when it comes to facing you in person and having a direct conversation. This fear has created a complicated dynamic where they want to reach out but feel paralyzed by anxiety and apprehension. It's true that at various points, they have made conscious efforts to distance themselves from you, perhaps as a defense mechanism or an attempt to regain control over their emotions. But here's what remains unchanged and absolutely certain: their feelings for you have never wavered, not even for a moment. No matter who has entered their life or walked away, no matter what distractions or new connections they may have encountered, you are the one person who remains constantly present in their mind. You occupy a space in their thoughts that no one else can touch or replace. Your presence lingers in their consciousness from the moment they wake up until they close their eyes at night, and even then, you likely visit them in their dreams. Your partner has reached a crucial point of self-awareness and understanding. They've come to recognize that in order to have a meaningful and healthy conversation with you, they must first work on achieving emotional balance and stability within themselves. They understand that approaching you while still caught in the grip of their emotional chaos would only perpetuate the same toxic patterns that created the distance in the first place. This realization marks a significant turning point in their journey. If they have ignored your messages, avoided your calls, or even gone so far as to block you in the past, actions that may have caused you pain and confusion, they are now prepared to undo these barriers. They're ready to unblock you, to open those channels of communication once again, and to take the courageous step of initiating contact with you themselves. What makes this connection so profound is that your partner truly recognizes the exceptional nature of the bond you share. This isn't just any ordinary relationship or fleeting connection, it's something that feels pure, untainted, and deeply spiritual. There's a sense that your souls have recognized each other on a level that transcends the physical realm, creating a link that feels almost divinely orchestrated. Beneath all the chaos and the mistakes, beneath the fear and the distance, there exists a foundation of genuine love and spiritual recognition that cannot be easily dismissed or forgotten. There's also a palpable sense of happiness and anticipation surrounding this situation, despite the challenges you've both faced. It feels as though you're both caught in a state of missing each other intensely, both yearning for the opportunity to see one another again and to engage in the kind of deep, meaningful conversation that touches the soul. Not small talk or surface-level exchanges, but the kind of communication that allows two people to truly bare their hearts and reconnect on every level, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Your partner envisions extended hours of talking with you, where time becomes irrelevant and the outside world fades away, leaving only the two of you in your own intimate universe. Looking toward the future, your partner sees a vision of unlimited communication between you both. They imagine a relationship where barriers no longer exist, where conversations flow freely and naturally without the interference of fear, pride, or past hurts. They feel with absolute certainty that nothing, not circumstances, not other people, not even their own previous mistakes, can stop them from loving you. This love feels inevitable and unstoppable to them, like a force of nature that simply cannot be contained or redirected. In their heart of hearts, they believe that you are their true soulmate, the person they were always meant to find and connect with in this lifetime. This isn't just a fleeting romantic notion or wishful thinking, it's a deep conviction that has taken root in their soul, surviving despite all the challenges and setbacks. They're ready now to honor that connection and fight for what you both share together.